but we must will it. Yogic science teaches us that we must will that kind of life. The problem is that we don't will it. Now, a strong will can only be done in a healthy mind, in a balanced mind, in a positive mind. Because one thing is for sure, that more than the physical, it's the psychological thing that crippled us. Our mind is constantly depleting energy and we don't even know it. So as mind gets weaker, we lose the power to will it. And therefore, we start to experience more pain and misery. So it's very important for us to understand what is mind. Do we know what mind is? We cannot see it, but it's important to know. Mind is nothing but a flow of thoughts. Mind is a factory that manufactures thoughts. Now, in our mind, we have positive thoughts and we have negative thoughts, a combination of two. So what happens is, as we become more aware, as we start to watch our thoughts, we become very careful as to what kind of thoughts are going through our mind. Many times, circumstances, situations or people can trigger negative, painful, miserable thoughts in mind. So then how do we transform them? How do we change those thoughts so that we are not depleting the energy of our mind? It's very easy. If we just pay little attention to it, think about it. When someone who is a stranger comes to our home, what do? We don't open the door to them. We just peek through the door and find out who they are, and we don't offer them a seat and they leave. But if a friend comes in to meet us, we will open the door and we will allow the friend to come in. We will offer the seat, tea, coffee, food, and the person will feel very welcome and friend will stay for as long as we want him to stay. Exactly the same way the negative thoughts and positive thoughts work. When negative thought comes to the mind, when it enters in the mind, if we don't offer a seat, we don't entertain that thought, and instantly we replace it with a joyful thought, the thought leaves. And similarly, when the positive thought comes, a joyful thought comes, and we entertain it, we offer a seat, and we just allow it to stay, it stays. So it's a very logical way of keeping your mind always filled with positive thoughts that will continue to bring positive energy. If we are not aware of our thoughts, then what happens is negative thoughts will try to create hurt body, and negative thoughts will attract more negativity. It will attract more heart sorrowful feelings, and as we attract the sorrow, the misery, what happens is that it creates an imprint in our mind, imprint of pain, and that imprint attracts more misery, more pain. And I can tell you one thing, once we become miserable with negative thoughts, then even if we are present at a happy occasion, still we can never be happy. The misery supersedes. And you will find that miserable people then are always looking to have the company of more miserable people, because that's how we can prove our point. We can justify the misery that we are carrying. Just like musicians are always looking for musicians to network with, terrorists are always looking for terrorists to join together, doctors are always looking to network with their own field. Same way, positive minded people are always looking to connect with positive minded people. So it's very simple. The moment a negative thought comes to our mind, a moment a thought that is filled with pain comes to our mind, don't allow it to even wait for 1 second. Just be aware and switch it with something joyful. Create that feeling of joy, or remember something that had happened in the past that was very blissful, some happy event, and triple that feeling of happiness in your mind, and soon you'll see that the thought has been transformed into so much higher feeling. That's all. So all day, every day, all we need to do is just pay attention and keep switching to most positive and powerful thoughts. And soon our mind is trained. Because an ordinary person looks at himself only as a body. But a little wiser person looks at himself as mind and body. Even the medical science is now explaining the connection between mind and body such way that we must take care of both. One without the other cannot stay healthy. So, but yogi, the person whose life is filled with yogic discipline, looks at himself as mind, body, and then beyond mind is intellect, power of self. So we must understand what mind is, we must transform the mind, we must transcend the mind. And once the mind is strong, the thoughts are positive, body is only a servant. It will act exactly the way mind is asking it to act. So, how do we transform the mind? How do we transform our thoughts? And that's where yogic practices help us tremendously. And when I say yoga, most people look at yoga as just doing postures. But know and understand that there are 3 stages of yoga. The first stage is body of yoga, second stage is mind of yoga, and third stage is soul of yoga. And what we practice here on Wednesday nights is soul of yoga. And let me explain to you what that means. Body of yoga is when we only just do the physical asanas, when we do just postures, and that is what is being practiced at most yoga studios, the outer body stretches. It's good, but it doesn't bring complete benefit. So anybody who's only doing postures is only using the body of yoga, not going beyond. The next category is mind of yoga. That is when we try to understand this higher knowledge of yoga. As we learn more about it, we become more interested in yoga. Our knowledge becomes more deeper. As we start to create interest, we become very disciplined. As we create more interest, we try to create yogic discipline in our life, and we start to experience it. That what this discipline can bring to us. So that's mind of yoga, that we go one step forward and heart and soul. And the last step of yoga is soul of yoga. And soul of yoga is when we start practicing yoga with such deeper feeling in a prayerful way that the ego walks out of our mind and body, that purity starts to increase, the inner strength increases, balance of mind increases, more happiness, more joy, more peace becomes one with our life. So as we become more disciplined and we start living yoga in daily life, that's when we start to experience blissful moments every day. So yoga is actually a spiritual exercise of mind. What that does is that it charges us spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. In all areas of our life we become fully charged, full of strength, full of enthusiasm, full of spark. So think about it, that if we have a cupboard that is filled with so much stuff and we are looking for something, the moment you open the cupboard, what happens? Everything just falls down. And for us to find something that we really want, we have to go deep, and it takes very long time to find it because there is so much clutter in there. So that's how the mind is. Mind is like a filled cupboard with garbage memories. Filled cupboard with garbage memories. And if we don't clear those memories from the past, then we lose control over the thoughts. Whatever flows, we are not aware, we have no control. Our mind is completely out of our control, and that is when it starts to deplete energy. And yogic practices, they help us to charge. We become spiritually charged, just like, you know, when we have a remote control of television in our hands, and what happens? We switch the channel that we want to see, and the channel appears. Why? Because there are radio magnetic waves outside, and the moment we switch the channel, it catches that particular station and we are able to watch it. Exactly the same way, when we start practicing yoga, what happens is that our mind becomes like that apparatus, and it's charging from yogic practices, and then it attracts the cosmic energy from the universe, and it fills us with that energy, where mind is strong, body is strong, and our life is filled with happiness, peace, and health. So we're going to start today's session by practicing yoga and then doing exercises of mind, that is pranayama, and then conclude with meditation. So let's go ahead and stand up.